It's the musicality production.
And welcome to this week's episode of the Esoteric Podcast.
Hello everyone, as always, I am T.J.Bunker. With me is Wesley, otherwise known as Demosai, and RJ, who goes by Tuskgarr. We meet here every week. We're a little late this week, but usually 3 o'clock on... 3 o'clock, yeah, 3 o'clock.
Sorry, that's my fault.
Yeah, usually 3 o'clock right here on Twitch for about 2 hours to discuss games, movies, weird things in the news, whatever strikes our fancy. This week we are going to be talking about Deus Ex, the 2000? Let's say 2000.
Yeah, 2000.
2000 game. Obviously, there's some new ones that are out. A new one just came out here earlier this year, in fact. But yeah, we're going to talk about the original. And then the Ghostbusters just hit Blu-ray, the new one. We're going to discuss that. So if you like what we're doing here, like I said, we meet every Sunday at about 3 o'clock on Twitch. You can find us on YouTube, where we put up an edited version of this podcast. Instead of 2 hours, it's down to an hour and a half. Take out all the extraneous stuff that is not relevant to the topic. Some weeks we go a little more off topic than others. We also on YouTube upload. We just started a new series where we've been reviewing video game soundtracks. We don't know if we're going to keep doing video game soundtracks, if we're going to do other things. I don't know, whatever we feel like doing. But yeah, check that out on YouTube. We also Twitch or Twitter. Kind of. One of these days, we're actually going to Twitter well. It's not today. We're busy today.
How does one Twitter well?
Well, look at what we're doing and do the exact opposite. And then, if you really, really like what we're doing, you can check us out on Patreon. Give us a little bit of money.
Please, I need a new card. Or at least to get my car fixed.
But before he gets a new car, we could really use better mics, better webcams, webcams, not better, because I guess I don't know.
Sorry, after the week I've had, I'm gonna resort to e-begging.
Somebody out there in the comments, please leave us a message whether or not a existing webcam is better than a non-existent webcam. Or whether it can't be better because there is nothing to compare it to, and therefore it's like a divide by zero error. Yeah, we're Schrodinger's webcam here. But anyway, we could use some webcams, so give us some money. We're the Esoteric Podcast over on Patreon. Wesley, of course, goes by Demosai. He does things at times on YouTube.
Monday album reviews and Friday night improvised Let's Plays with my friend Crow Bolts.
Sure. Alright, and RJ, who apparently knows lots about Let's Plays, I know nothing about Let's Plays, goes by Tuskgarr, and he streams on Twitch on days.
Tuesday usually, but unfortunately for the next week or two, it might happen, but I got a second job that I need to get my car fixed, so...
Alright, so Tuskgarr is taking a little break from twitching. Anyway, it's enough of that nonsense. So, Deus Ex came out in 2000.
Yep.
It was, I'm not going to say the first, but it was definitely one of the first, choose your own narrative style video games, I guess.
Yeah.
Most video games had very linear stories. This kind of gives you the open mission structure. The things can change based upon what you do in the game. I don't know if it was the first. It was definitely the first one I was aware of. I played it when it was new back in 2000, my senior year of high school. And it was...
Oh, you're older.
Yeah. Graduated in 01. So yeah, Deus Ex, I played it back in 2000 when it first came out. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's the first, but it is definitely one of the earliest and definitely one of the more high-profile games that gave you narrative options and made changes. Without Deus Ex, there's a strong argument that there never would have been a Mass Effect, at least as we know Mass Effect. Although if we could eliminate the Mass Effect 3 ending by that, it might be worth it. God, so I played it in my senior year of high school, and I just replayed it again this week. I don't know. As far as gameplay is concerned, I think it still holds up pretty well.
Go on.
But yeah, story-wise, I remember being a lot more excited about the story as a 17-year-old than I am as a 33-year-old. Just way less exciting, 16 years later. Maybe it's because I've seen so many other stories that basically do the same thing. Either because stories started copying Deus Ex, or I'm older now and I've now experienced the things that Deus Ex was copying. I don't know which.
Gameplay-wise, this was my first time playing Deus Ex, and I didn't get through the whole of the game because I was dumb and put it on normal. So anyways, the gameplay to me, and this is coming from someone who's never played Deus Ex before, it felt very Dishonored-like in a way that I liked. And,
depending on how you play Dishonored. But yeah, no, the Deus Ex definitely, the modern Deus Ex, they always talk about how you can play however you want. You want to go in guns blazing, go in guns blaze. You want to go all stealthy, go all stealthy. In the most recent one, I believe they actually made it so you can do a complete pacifist run. Even against bosses, you're able to go in and do pacifist things on them.
Yeah, I saw a live streamer do that.
Yeah, the original Deus Ex, I would hate to try to go in guns blazing, ever. Jesus Christ, man.
No, when I remember playing on the PS2 back in the day. Oh, God. Going Ghost blazing, that was my style of played. That makes part of the reason why I didn't play it that much. Because it fit my playstyle back then.
Yeah, no, because you don't have the ammunition to go guns blazing most of the time. Jesus, man.
Yeah, there were you had to blow up a meat or some crap for that.
Yep. But yeah, and to be fair, I kind of enjoy that kind of game. I really enjoyed Thief 2 back in the day. When I played through Dishonored, which we will be doing again here in a couple of weeks.
Oh, I cannot
just before
wait.
Dishonored 2 comes out. I do that as a stealth game. So yeah, very similar. You're right. So outside of the fact that you do have to go all stealthy, basically, if you want to even remotely win this game, at least in the early game, you can do a little more guns blazing later. You get yourself the regen augment, and you can go. So you run out of bullets anyway. You can go guns blazing. Yes, there are melee weapons. They basically suck. Oh, well, maybe you can get skill in them. I don't know. I put my skill into rifles. I will headshot everything. Because fuck combat, man.
Yeah,
I will headshot you from across the goddamn map, watch you die, watch your friends swarm everywhere looking for me, and laugh.
Travis, you really should have told me that beforehand. You know why? I went in, I tried to do the whole stealth crossbow thing with the silenced pistol.
Oh God, I hate the silenced pistol. Somehow it's worse than the regular pistol, which already
I think
sucks.
the argument is that the silencer slows the bullet down.
I don't care. They give you tranquilizer darts, but unlike other games, they are not like, oh look, I shot him in the face and he went down. It's, oh look, I shot him in the face. He ran over to the alarm panel, hit the alarm, summoned his friends, shot me 5 times, then passed out.
It's, oh gosh.
That's the darts in that game were...
My first playthrough back in 2000, I did try going pacifist. I was doing non-lethal takedowns. My go-to was the shoot them with the tranquilizer dart, beat them with the baton until they go unconscious. Well, I started with the crowbar because they went down more quickly with the crowbar. And then I realized that, yeah, crowbars are lethal. Oopsie! But yeah, no, this playthrough, fuck it, sniper rifle. Bing, bing, bing! Although, earlier in the game, it was like, bing, run and hide! He took a sniper bullet to the face and is still just angry at me now.
Yeah, that was essentially Deus Ex for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked the challenge. It seemed fun. It's hard, man. And these guards are smart. They're not Dishonored guards. These guards know what they're doing.
I don't know if they're smart so much as the game cheats. Like, literally, I had parts in the game where, like, there's one guy in a room. I snipe him and I duck around the corner. 5 other people who were not in that room somehow, not only swarm into the room, they just know the guy is dead, even though I hit him with a silenced sniper rifle. 5 guys come running into the room. They automatically know which exit I was from. You know, like 4 exits from the room. All 5 of them know I was in that one. They swarm down there and find me and start attacking me. It's like, really, game? You can at least pretend the AI had to figure it out instead of you just going, yeah, he was over there. AI, he's over there. Go get it.
I think that's how older games kind of...
Well, no, I'm sure most of it was that was just the best way to process the AI. I mean...
Crappy AI back then.
Yeah. But yeah, so outside of that, Wesley, modern games, big focus on regenerating health and stuff like that. This game, not only is the health not regenerating, you take damage to specific body parts.
Yeah, I remember that, and I was just like, oh gosh, I'm gonna have...
Of course you remember that. You just played this game.
Yeah.
What do you think of it, though?
The game overall?
No, the fact that you're taking damage to specific body parts and you need to find med packs to heal up and...
It's... For someone who likes challenge a lot of the time, I loved it as a core mechanic, because it was just another thing for me to be like, okay, I gotta focus on trying to make sure my arm doesn't stop working and stuff.
You know what's super fun?
What?
When you blow both of your legs off and have no med pack. When you have to reload the game because you can't move. I don't know. I remember the difference because I haven't played a Fallout game since Fallout 3.
Well, Fallout 3, if your legs get crippled, you walk lower.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's been a while, so I don't remember the differences between the two mechanics very
so
well.
if both your legs are crippled, you can walk really slowly.
Yeah, in Deus Ex, you're just a torso.
So, I know. The thing is, though, a lot of times, if there was a point in Fallout where I had so many finally that you crippled. And I was like, oh, good boy. That's good.
So Wesley, did you learn the trick how not to waste your lockpick and your multi-tool?
How? I'm gonna really
Quick
hate
save. You quick save, then you open it, and you go, wow, there's crap in here. Then you quick load, and you don't open it the second time. Because there are so many fucking locked doors, and so many security systems, and cameras, and all that other shit, that, yeah, like, when I played through it in, like, 2000, there was so much stuff that I missed, because I had wasted lockpick on things that just did not help in any way. I'd open it up, and inside would be like, 10mm bullets. And I'm like, but I haven't used a pistol in like 4 levels. I'm full. The game won't let me have more 10mm bullets. Why did I just burn 3 lockpicks on this?
Oh, you know what it was? It was Elder Scrolls Oblivion. For some reason, I could not figure out the lock mechanism for that game.
Yeah.
Skyrim and like freaking Fallout 3 and 4, no problem. For some reason, Oblivion.
Oh.
Yeah. Deus Ex is literally you didn't even hold the button. You just click.
Yeah. Basically.
You click and it goes using the lockpick.
And there was like a random. Yeah,
No. Every time you use it, it wastes one.
Oh, okay.
What happens is all locks have a percentage. Like, this lock is 60%. And based upon what your skill level with lockpick is, a lockpick will reduce it by X number of percentage. So, like, second level is where I basically have spent the entire game. Because I upgraded lockpick as a thing I did to start the game. Like, character creation, I was a second level lockpick, and I never bothered to upgrade it again. But that is a 25%. One lockpick will reduce the percentage by 25%. So if the lock is at 100%, it takes 4 lockpicks to bring it down.
I should have really invested into that.
How much percentage was yours ticking down?
10%.
Oh, you must have still been first level lockpick then.
Yep.
Yeah. And multi-tools upgrade by the same percentage. Yeah, no, electronics and lockpick were two of my starter skills, and rifles. I didn't bother upgrading swimming because I knew I was going to get the swimming augment eventually, and there's not a lot of... When I remember playing in 2000 and upgrading swimming, going, yes! I have, like, max swimming. I'm going to take all the secret water routes and sneak into all the bases. There's, like, 2 bases at the thing you can do. And I was like, God damn it, I just wasted all my fucking experience. Alright. So, let's talk the story. I played it through twice. As I said, the second time I did it, it did not feel as fun as it did the first time. There's a lot of stuff you can do that will change as you play through the story, but none of it seems very consequential at all. Which, I guess, is a good thing, because one of the biggest problems with storytelling where you can change consequential things is the consequences seem meaningless. Because, the story kind of still needs to progress in a certain way. They don't want to have 2 vastly different stories. So whether or not you do this thing or that thing, at the end it basically turns out the same. In Deus Ex, they do have wildly differing consequences, but they don't ever affect the main story until the end of the game. I mean, things you can do. There is a hotel that you stop into, and this daughter, and the daughter may not even be there if you don't go talk to her earlier in the game and tell her to go home and talk to her dad. I found her. I told her to go home and talk to her dad. And next time I was back at the hotel, I'm talking to them, and her dad's all pissed off about this local gangster who also happens to be his daughter's pimp, who's coming around and, demanding protection money, and he's fed up. He asks you to give him a gun. I was like, sure, I hate my pistol anyway. I never used the damn thing, so I gave him the pistol. By this point in time, I had a shotgun. Shotgun's my backup for when I failed a headshot. Or, I succeeded in a headshot and they survived the bullet to the brain pan.
Because logic in video games, right?
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, so shotgun had become my backup. I'd long since stopped using the pistol. I gave him the pistol. I mean, plus it was no big deal. I found another one like 5 minutes later. But yeah, so the guy comes by and he gets all up in the dad's face. The dad gets all pissed off, and they both take out guns and shoot each other. And the dad wins. And having heard things on the internet, as I understand it, the dad can even lose. But other than just watching this and, feeling like you made a difference in the world, it's literally it. That nothing becomes of this guy later. It's no big freaking deal to the vast overarching story.
Yeah.
That was fun, but I don't know, the vast overarching story kind of not as cool as I thought it used to be.
Yeah, and I didn't get that far in this game, but from what I could there's one question I had just to make a Dishonored comparison. Did the world change in any significant way depending on your playstyle? Like in Dishonored, huh?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Because I was about to say, if that happened, then that could be an awesome attention to detail for, like, world building or something, but,
Nope. As far as I know, regardless of whether you were doing non-lethal takedowns or lethal takedowns, it would make no difference to how enemies responded to you in the future. It has no difference on enemy loadouts in the future. Although I'm either misremembering things or there were differences because you go to Hong Kong at one point in the game. I seem to recall in 2000 I was constantly being chased by people in Hong Kong and shot at, and I was I spent a lot of times in the canal, the river, getting from place to place to avoid being shot. Yeah, when I just played through it this past week, I never had to avoid. I just took the surface street, no problem. Nobody was shooting at me.
Okay.
So I don't know what made that change. I may have done something stupid on my first playthrough to piss off the Triad, which, then would have caused me to be avoiding the Triads in the street, because there aren't any of the bad guys in the street. There's just the Triad. So I may have done something to piss off the Triad, and I just don't remember that part.
Yeah.
But yeah. The story is so straightforward. I don't know how much of it is me remembering the story from the first time and how much of it is me going, yep, that's obvious. But yeah, how much of the story was obvious to you, Wesley, for what you played? You played just a very little bit of it. So you are aware of the virus and that you work for the organization that has the cure, right?
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Okay. Where do you think the story goes from here?
The main character from this, I'm just shot in the dark here for the audiences. I'm saying this for the audience. From what I can guess, the main character somehow finds out that they're the one who that the organization they're working for turns out to be evil in some way, and then they turn because they're like, no, I want to save human lives or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Organization that you work for is manufacturing the virus, deliberately infecting people, so that way they can provide the cure, and they are then, the heroes, and how they gain control.
Yeah. I basically got that vibe from the opening cutscene.
Yeah. I seem to recall it being a lot more subtle back when I was 17. But yeah, so the story, I'll just lay it out for you here, Wesley. Okay, so you work for the company. You go off on a mission. Then your brother betrays the company. Turns out he's been working for the bad guy the whole time. The NSF, the terrorists, right? Which is why he was so insistent on handing out non-lethal weapons to everybody under his command and telling you to use non-lethal force when attacking people. And It's because these are his buddies and he doesn't want them to die.
Yeah.
But yeah, his whole reason for even pretending to participate was he was trying to get his hands on the cure so that he could export it to Hong Kong, where a guy he knew was going to reverse engineer it so that the cure could be manufactured for everybody. Rather than it being monopolized by this one organization who... And at the time, your brother's just doing this because he doesn't want the company to be monopolizing. He doesn't even know yet that the organization is making the virus. But so you're sent in to stop the NSF because your brother screwed up. Your brother reveals that, oh yeah, by the way, I'm with the NSF. Here's why. You're actually working for douchebags. So do you want to help me out? There is no option to not help him, to the best of my knowledge. You do help him. Okay. That is what you do. You do have the option to warn his allies or not, and that will have some consequences later in the game. Nothing major. But yeah, so then you get captured. You cannot avoid getting captured. I really wanted to ask you how far you made it. But you're with your brother, and the room you're in is ambushed by guys. If you die at any point in time during the scenario, you wake up in a holding cell.
Okay. All right.
Or you can continue to fight your way through. And I fought my way through all the way until the part where you get to a guy that is invincible. Trying as you might, he will kill you because he's invincible.
The game's
and then you'll wake.
The game's had enough of your shit.
So you will wake up in this holding cell, and then some guy named Daedalus contacts you. He lets you out of the cell. You break out of the super secret base, which turns out to be in the basement of your super secret base.
Oh God!
For some reason.
Gosh, how?
Like, did you ever go down to level 4 in the base, Wesley?
I don't think so.
Okay. Level 4 is through the med lab in level 3.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I just didn't go in there because I'm like, that looks restricted.
Yeah. Well, it is. There's a door down there you can't get through.
Mm.
Beyond that is the super secret base that you wake up in. Yeah, so you come back. You can choose to warn some of the people in the building. It turns out a lot of the people realize their boss is stuck, so they agree to help you. You then go to Hong Kong because you need to try replicating the virus while you're in Hong Kong. You do a bunch of shit for the triads so you can earn their trust, and then you find out that the bad guys are making the virus. You're unable to replicate a cure, so you go flying back to New York, where you end up in contact with the Illuminati. Mostly because it turns out that your helicopter pilot is a conspiracy buff? I don't know. Basically, you go find somebody, and somebody tells you, oh yeah, by the way, I secretly work for the Illuminati, and here's how I can help you, because the bad guys who are doing this whole virus thing, they're actually an offshoot of the Illuminati. A bunch of Illuminati who got pissed one day, and they all quit and formed their own organization. And now we've kind of had this little war going between us. So I'm going to help you beat them. Any enemy of my enemy type of thing. And you go back to the helicopter pilot, and the helicopter pilot's like, "Yeah, I know that guy. He works for the Illuminati." And you're just like, "Wait, what?" Why am I running all over fucking town finding information about this guy when you could have just told me where he lived and that he worked for the fucking Illuminati? But yeah, so you're working with the Illuminati to take down the bad guys. I can't remember their fucking name. Something 12. No.
Oh.
No. UNATCO is the puppet of the actual bad guy.
Okay.
UNATCO is the organization you work for, and the people in authority in UNATCO are taking orders from the actual bad guy.
Okay. Okay.
Which is MC12. I don't fucking remember.
Minecraft 12.
ML12. I want to say ML12 now. Fuck it. Anyway, so yeah, you hook up with the Illuminati and you're fighting these people. You end up in Paris so that you can do some shit, and then you have to go get this machine that they don't really describe very well. Apparently, they are like super factories. Like this one device can manufacture like anything. So I guess like Star Trek replicators. And there's only like 3 of them, and apparently it's literally the only way you can manufacture this cure. So you have to go steal one. This playthrough, that's as far as I've made it. I ran out of time before I actually got to the end. But I do remember that after doing that, you end up with a choice at the very end of the game. And for everybody who loathes the Mass Effect 3 ending, me.
I've played Mass Effect 2 and I hate what they did with Mass Effect 3, so yeah, pretty much.
But this is your original 3-color choice. I don't think they color-coded them, but they gave you 3 options. I seem to recall hating all of them and not wanting to pick any of them. Because your options are, side with the bad guy you've been fighting this whole game. Because, that's always the thing you want to do.
Clearly.
Again, they did the same thing in Mass Effect 3. That was literally an option in Mass Effect 3. Oh yeah, you've been fighting the Reapers the whole damn time. You want to side with them now? Then there is the side with the rogue AI that wants to do things to take over the world. Hey, there's a rogue AI as a third option in Mass Effect 3, too. Or you could side with the Illuminati, who are going to put an end to the current crisis and then reinsert themselves as secret world overlord.
Let's
see.
Yeah,
your options are enslave humanity to the rogue AI, the Illuminati, or the bad guys whose name I can't be bothered to remember.
Can I choose neither? Redundant endings for 500, Bob.
And to Deus Ex's credit, they were one of the... I don't know if anybody had an ending choice like this. And at least in Deus Ex, the kind of bleak nature of the ending kind of fit with the tone of the game.
Yeah, it was definitely a darker game.
Yeah, I mean, you spend an awful lot of the game losing.
Yeah.
I mean, you live. I mean, I'm not even talking about how often you die and have to reload. I'm talking about everything you do. You just keep, oh, look, I just destroyed this. Oh, crap, they've got a backup, and they still moved ahead with their plan. You spend an awful lot of the time, feeling like the underdog. So, being given which one of these 3 pretty terrible choices are you going to go with, seemed like it fit with the tone anyway. There was no happy ending to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was, that was Mass Effect 3, though. It was, 12 years later? It was a 2012 game, I want to say?
Yeah, somewhere around
2012 seems right. And Mass Effect made so many more promises. And the tone of the game was a lot more heroic and a lot more upbeat. And a lot more, I can defeat all odds. Deus Ex was kind of, I'm doing my best to make the best of a really bad situation. Mass Effect was more of a, we can come back from this, we can overcome this, we can, defeat this. So yeah, the bleakness of the ending was part of it. The fact that literally nothing you did anywhere else in the game affected the ending pissed me off. Considering, Deus Ex, yeah, you could affect things. You can affect whether or not your brother lived when he can die during that assault on his room, or he can live. But yeah, but once again, none of that ever really affected the main thrust of the story.
Yeah, and
in Mass Effect, you could do things that felt like you were affecting the main thrust of the story, and then you get to the end, and literally nothing you did before has any bearing whatsoever. Worse, there was no illusion of it doing something. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of the incidents in Mass Effect that feel like you're doing something major to affect the story don't actually affect the story that much, if at all. I mean, at the end of the original Mass Effect, you can choose to save the Council or let them die, right? But when you play Mass Effect 2, whichever choice you made really doesn't affect Mass Effect 2 at all, other than which NPCs you're talking to. But there's that illusion that something happened. You have different NPCs and different dialogues, and I mean, yes, the same major things happen, but you don't even notice until you play through a second time. They make you feel like something different is happening. And you are just imagining, whoa, this is what happened when I did this. I wonder what it would have been like. It must have been completely different if I had, taken this other option. They make you feel like that's a thing. They don't give you that in the endings.
Yeah.
Deus Ex, they don't make you feel that your choices are having big impact like that. So, the fact that nothing you did before affects the endings, well, nothing you did before really affected the main narrative anyway, so, big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, bottom line, Deus Ex is fun.
Yeah.
I liked the gameplay mechanics. I liked the challenge. The story is serviceable. It's nothing going to be revelatory. You can probably see it coming a mile away if you played any game in a similar genre. You'll be able to spot the bad guys because, I mean, it's all telegraphed. If you played these games, you're like, yeah, he's going to become the bad guy. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. You can see it coming because they go off formula. They just follow the formula. Whether or not they wrote that formula and everybody else is just using the formula they came up with, I don't really remember. But yeah, it's nothing going to be revelatory. One thing I will say, the voice acting does not hold up.
Oh my gosh, these first of all, the animations. I mean, don't get me wrong, Deus Ex is a game that was made in 2000, so the graphics should be given a moderate. I don't know how to say it exactly, but they should just be given a little room for error. But some of these characters look like they were the way their animations look when they talk. They look like they were voiced by puppets, hand puppets, like they're hand puppets.
Well, they were basically. Yeah. No, I'm talking the voice acting, the actual people speaking the dialogue.
Oh yeah, everything sounds like it's going through a filter.
No, I'm talking about how flat. I mean, because these were not professional voice actors. Most likely, these were the developers themselves. So we're talking like, hey, you were able to program this. You've got some free time today. Come down and read this dialogue. So these were not professional voice actors. Everything is so stilted and flat and yeah, just the voice acting is atrocious. That does not hold up. We have, in modern games, hiring professional voice actors has become the norm.
Yeah.
Bottom line, the game holds up pretty well. Narratives, not terrible. It's serviceable. The voice acting, though, is atrocious. I read through all of the subtitles. I normally turn off subtitles in a game. I loathe subtitles because I can read faster than they can say the dialogue. So I've already finished reading it before they've spoken it. And if they, and if they're on the subscreen, on the screen, if subtitles are on the screen, I read them. I can't not unless I look away from the screen. In this game, I read the subtitles and I clicked past the dialogue because I did not want to hear those people talk.
Yeah. Yeah, my overall thoughts on Deus Ex, it's a good game. I can definitely see where it influenced the gaming industry, especially with games like Dishonored and stuff. And it's probably one of those games I will inevitably finish when I can learn to stop banging my head against the wall because, gosh, is normal mode hard for me.
Set it to easy, quick save every time you finish a combat, basically.
Yep. Probably what I'm going to go for.
Alright. RJ, do you have any thoughts to offer on Deus Ex?
You I haven't really had a chance to revisit because of all my issues that happened this week. But I'm actually looking forward to checking it out again. Okay, what are you guys talking about?
All right. Well, we'll let you continue looking those up. Well, Wesley, you're going to change genres this week.
Yes. I'm not just sticking with rap music this week.
What's our new genre?
Japanese rock or post-hardcore.
Oh, right, you mentioned that.
Today's music segment is an artist spotlight. Actually, there's a so earlier this summer, I was getting kind of with all the rap artists I was following because no one was dropping anything new. So I started listening to some metal. I was listening to Slipknot and Chevelle and a Japanese band I had heard about in two ways. This band had done the opening for Psycho-Pass, the 2 seasons and the 1 movie that Psycho-Pass had, and the lead singer did the opening for Tokyo Ghoul, which is one of my favorite animes. Anyways, I also listened to a band called Ling Toshite Shigure. They are this awesome rock, post-hardcore rock band out of Japan. And
I'm curious, you know what their name translates to in English?
I knew it for a while. I know Shigure stands for rain.
Okay.
Because
I've always wondered if the Japanese decide that they're doing heavy metal type music and their band name is like Friendly Puppy Ladies or something. It seems like a Japanese thing. I don't know if it really is. I am probably stereotyping the hell out of Japanese people in really terrible ways here, but I don't know. That's just the impression I have. Is they'd be doing really hard metal music with this sappy.
Anyways, Ling Toshi.
Yeah, happy puppy friends, or Ling, whatever you're gonna call them.
Ling Toshite Shigure. They are.
Yes, I'm gonna call them happy puppy friends.
They're this awesome band I got into. They're I could go. I don't really know how to go over their career because their first album was titled Number 4, which really threw a wrench into my plans when I was originally listening.
Wait, was it titled Number 4 or the Japanese word for 4? I'm curious.
It was there was the number symbol in a 4.
Okay, so the Roman numeral 4, or not the Roman, the Arabic numeral 4.
Yeah, and anyways, they are an amazing band. If you like metal, like heavier stuff, like I'd say kind of like Slipknot almost, except they're Japanese, so you really don't understand what they're saying. I'd honestly
all the metal I've ever listened to, I never understood what they were saying anyway. I wouldn't notice a difference.
Yeah, that's probably a thing. But Ling Toshite Shigure, they're an amazing band. They do have one problem with their music, though.
It's Happy Puppy Friend, Wesley. Get it right.
Happy Puppy Friends. Yes, I forget. They have one problem with their music that I'm going to spotlight now. They sometimes put too much sound in.
I'm confused. Isn't that the definition of metal?
Yes, but usually metal follows a rhythm or something. There's an overarching rhythm. Sometimes it sounds like they're just randomly beating on instruments. And again, I'm saying this now. Ling Toshite Shigure, I suggest you check them out. They did the opening for Psycho-Pass Season 1 and Season 2. I think Season 2 was my favorite of their 2 that I've heard. And their lead singer, TK, did the opening for Tokyo Ghoul, which TK is interesting as a solo artist because he's a blues type artist. But anyways, I'd suggest Ling Toshite Shigure. They're an amazing band. They're really nice if you're like me and you listen to them while you're listening to Chevelle and Slipknot, because they really had that stark contrasting difference where, with Slipknot and Chevelle, I can understand a lot of what they're saying unless we get into the really old school Slipknot, in which I'm like, I know that one song that everyone loves, but not much of any of the other songs. And but either way, I suggest Ling Toshite Shigure. They're an amazing band, and I personally love them.
So, you get those weird news stories?
Out of Little Rock, Arkansas, it turns out a 93-year-old bridge deemed structurally deficient isn't so weak after all. Demolition crews triggered explosives Tuesday to bring down the Broadway Bridge between Little Rock and North Little Rock, but the structure's arch and bridge remained upright.
Nice. And the mayor said, bridge must be fine. Resume using it. After we just detonated explosives on it.
So the bridge didn't fall. Clearly, we have to still use it.
London bridges. Oh wait, no, it's fine. Never mind.
Arkansas Highway Department spokesman Danny Wesley, I'm totally putting their last name, says the blast weakened the bridge, but that workers will likely have to find some mechanical means to complete the job. Crews have floated a crane into place near the structure and plan to hoist a worker into the air to inspect the blast impact. Then they should closely cover the steel arch and bridge deck and cause a control collapse. Obviously, that didn't happen. 3 other implosions are planned during a 6-month period to bring down the old bridge. But yeah, apparently they were like, this bridge needs to get torn down. It's fucked up. And they go to blow it up and, I guess it's not that fucked up.
Yeah, that's fun. I mean, here in Minnesota, we have bridges just collapsing because nobody bothers to look at the damn thing.
Here's one that's based around a conversation you, me, and some others we were having about sexual education in schools.
All right. Somebody
Don't
proposing
porn teenagers in school and scrap sex education, says Dame Jenny Murray. So obviously this is in the UK. Women's Power host Jenny Murray has said teenagers will watch pornography in school and analyze it as they would a Jane Austen novel. I'm sorry, I'm just imagining me back in high school having to turn in a 500-page essay.
500 page.
500
500
pages?
word essay on a video called Backdoor Beauty Live or something.
Oh, gosh. You know, if I had to turn in an essay like that, I would write the best essay ever and analyze character development and the story of it all.
Well, to be fair, it actually kind of sounds like they're doing this as a class project. So, you know, the AV guy wheels in the TV, the teacher opens up the rental case from Blockbuster, pops it into the VCR, yes, I'm old, and bam, Backdoor Beauties pops up on the TV, and you and 29 of your teenage friends and need to watch porn together.
And you're just sitting there and of course you can't jerk off in the middle of class. It's just being a teacher with raging hormones.
Yeah, all of a sudden all the guys are crossing their legs trying to hide their boners from the girls, and I like it, let's do this! Anything to make teenagers uncomfortable.
Oh gosh, I would totally pull that on one of my brothers.
Also, please, sex education classes we know it should be overhauled, should be renamed gender studies.
Yes, they have nothing to do with sex at all.
According to the Daily Mail, he was answering questions from an audience at the Cheltenham Literary Festival. The quiz on how she would tackle the prevalence of internet pornography. Give our kids Jane Austen to read and say, okay, let's analyze it. Oh, she's a girl. She obviously just has out of fuss to give.
Is Jane Austen more erotic than I've been giving her credit for? I've never read a Jane Austen novel, but
It's just like, oh my god.
now what I think I love best about this story is apparently the original story was from the Daily Mail. There's an excellent possibility no one ever said any of this. The Daily Mail made it all up.
True, but still, it's.
But I'm endorsing it anyway! Crap, I'm endorsing something the Daily Mail said. I feel dirty. Scour myself with bleach later for agreeing with the Daily Mail.
So, tell me something. Have you ever accidentally, maybe thrown something out, have you ever, disposed of something inappropriately, like a battery or something like that?
Well, there was the time that I took all of my batteries to Best Buy. Because according to the internet, Best Buy recycled alkaline battery.
Okay.
And I wandered around the Best Buy and I could not find the alkaline battery recycling. So I then dumped my box full of alkaline batteries into the cell phone battery collection bin in the front of the store. And then I went away.
Yeah, but you still expect those batteries to be taken to an facility that processes batteries.
No, I fully expect that the person opened it up, went, why the fuck are there a bunch of alkaline batteries in here, and threw them into the trash.
No, what I'm saying is, you would expect that the cell phone battery, the lithium-ion batteries, have been disposed of properly.
Well, I'm guessing so.
Yeah.
You know, and every once in a while, you could be forgiven if, every once in a while I did, but you wouldn't think that 16,000, sorry, I read this wrong. Wouldn't expect to find amputated legs sitting in a goddamn garbage dump.
I don't know where else I'm going to put them. They start stinking if I leave them in my dining room.
From what I'm reading here, yeah, from Australia.
I don't know why they bothered putting them into a dump in Australia. I mean, just chuck them outside. Alligators will something to eat the damn things.
The Environment Protection Authority from Australia has $16,000 in fine. Wow, that's pretty. After 2 amputated legs were found dumped at a rubbish tip near Newcastle a month ago. A bulldozer driver at the Summerhill tip discovered the legs, which had been cut from below the knee and placed up February 15. Authorities determined they had been surgically removed at the nearby John Hunter Hospital. Following an investigation, the EPA identified a serious communication breakdown had occurred between Hunter and New England Health and a waste disposal company to allow the legs to be dumped at the tip. However, the authority has opted against prosecuting the local health district and specialized waste district filed after it determined that the error was not intentional, both parties are cooperative and had already the incident could have attracted a $1 million fine. Instead, both parties were fined $8,000 after the EPA investigation into how search protocols had been agreed to allow the legs to be disposed of at the Walton facility. It proved that the legs had been incorrectly placed in the wrong disposal bin at Health Pathology before the bin was taken away. Its contents were created before being dumped. EPA manager of waste compliance Kate Wood said both parties were fine because they had made errors with each other. I'm sorry, I can't close read this because it's like, how the fuck do you miss a pair of goddamn legs in a trash bag?
Well, it's just the lower half of a leg.
Oh, yeah, it was below. But still, you think that it's got this distinct shape. And you know it's coming from a hospital, no less. So you would think that, like, when you're picking up the bag, you might be like, hey, hey, Bob, is this just me, or does this feel like there's a human leg in here?
Well, probably wasn't the only thing in the bag. Probably in there with a bunch of beer bottles. But I figured out why they didn't just chuck the legs out back and let the wild animals eat them. Because then the wild animals would be expecting to be fed, and they'd be hanging around the hospital all the time, and then the wild animals would be, eating your patients and shit, and that's just not good. So, yeah, all right, disposing of them in a better way is probably a good idea.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Australia. All the animals are out to kill you.
Yes. And most of the plants.
And the sand.
Alright, so Ghostbusters. Running out of time here. Gonna move on.
I had one about Target dropping turkeys from a plane. Live turkeys.
Mark that for next week. I want to talk about that. That sounds fun. But we only have 40 minutes left, and I want to get to Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
So, I'm going to get this out of the way right now. They replaced. They replaced the cast of the original Ghostbusters with women. It is a reboot. They restart it. I have no problem with the fact that they are women.
Yes.
In fact, the only moments in this movie that I really liked were the moments when the four women were sitting around just kind of talking to each other. Pretty much the only moments in the movie I liked.
Yeah.
You had four actresses who all did a fine job in some scenes. And yeah, I have no problem with the fact they were women.
Yes.
Loathe this movie, not because they were women.
Yes, that's
Going to
something
get that out of the way here right now.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to bring up too.
You
Because
already do comments, so I guess.
here's the thing. I know that automatically saying anything negative about this movie, people are going to be like, that's sexist. I'm not trying to be sexist here. I just, I agree with Travis. I don't like this movie. This movie is not good.
Yeah. First thing I want to mention, we're talking about women. The movie itself, I feel, actually did, at least in one part, a disservice towards women, and that is when Kristen Wiig's character is apparently so obsessed, I'm going to go with the fact that Chris Hemsworth is their secretary. He's this attractive yet incredibly stupid guy.
Oh my gosh.
And she spends I don't know how many lines of dialogue just saying ridiculously stupid things that makes her seem like, you know, an airhead.
Like when they're dragging him around, they're like, and he's like, "Wow, what is he made out of?" It's like 100% pure muscle and creepy stuff, you know,
Yes.
shit like that. It's just like a few jokes like that, I don't mind. But it just
If they had been funny, okay, maybe, but I didn't find any of them funny.
I found like one or two things about it. That one line that was the only one I found funny.
But yeah, even then, this was supposed to be a movie where they took women and they put them in the starring roles for strong female roles, which Hollywood needs fucking more of.
Oh, definitely.
Yes. For sure.
And then they make one of the characters your stereotypical airhead who is perfectly okay with a guy being absolutely stupid because, hey, he's hot.
To be fair, she only acted like an airhead around.
I know. No, I mean, no, it was those moments. I hated those moments because
It made her seem like.
yeah.
Okay.
Every other time was, and
I
it was,
wanted to make sure I was following your train.
and it was completely out of place for the character because she was not an airhead other than those fucking moments.
Professor, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
No, yeah, she was a professor.
She was a professor, which is my next thing I want to complain about. What the fuck was the point in the whole beginning of the fucking movie? Why did she have to be a teacher who didn't want to be a part of the whole ghost thing, who, was no longer, a friend? I mean, if you want to make that your movie, fine. Make that your movie. Making it the first, 30 minutes of the movie was pointless. Because it was never outside of the scene where was that her boyfriend? They weren't very clear. But the guy that she met at the beginning of the movie that really seemed like her boyfriend, he was the one introducing her around at that party. He shows up in the middle of the movie, and they have an exchange, and then he goes away, and you never see him again. What the fuck was his point in this movie? Why was he here? What the fuck purpose did he serve?
I felt sorry for the tiny food delivery guy.
I am fairly certain, I did not look it up, but I'm fairly certain that is the taxi driver from Deadpool.
Hey, it didn't look similar, but then again, you could have had something different with his hair or something. I wouldn't notice.
Yeah, I would have to look it up. In fact, I might do that here while I'm talking.
I actually hadn't watched this movie with my daughter. She enjoyed the heck out of it. Then again, she's 4 years old. You know what? It's not a bad movie for. I mean, yeah, a little bit of a few moments with the ghost and stuff that got a little bit intense for her, but she still enjoyed it. Like when he saw the end and saw them be everything, she actually stood up and cheered and went, "They saved the day!" and everything.
Well, you would have to have the intelligence of a child to enjoy most of this movie.
No, I'm gonna say I actually enjoyed this movie for parts. The thing that ruined it for me, the humor fell flat for me. The action stuff and I like the fact that they had a bunch of the they got really like into like some of like the nitty-gritty science behind them, like a little bit of what like their equipment and stuff like that. I like that. Then again, I'm a big fan of that's why I like Star Trek Next Generation as opposed to freaking, the original series or anything. It's a bunch of the technobabble. I'll probably label as a dumbass for this, but that's my opinion here. The humor fell flat, with this whole movie, but the action and everything else was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still the whole dumb reason of like, we need you to stop freaking being public with these ghosts because we're trying to keep ghosts hidden from the public. That whole business. Oh God, no. There was such wasted potential.
All right, this movie is a reboot. Therefore, it is practically begging you to compare it to the original Ghostbusters.
Yep.
In the original Ghostbusters, their humor, like this movie, I felt they would basically tell a joke and then like pause and like look at the camera like, haha, see, we just told a joke. You're laughing, right? Okay, we're gonna let the laughing die down.
It's the standard.
Even if they didn't actually do that all the time, every single time they fucking told a joke, you could tell it was a joke. You could see the setup. You could see the punchline. In the original Ghostbusters, if you didn't find the joke funny, you probably didn't realize it was supposed to be a joke. It probably just seemed like another line of dialogue.
Over your head.
And, in my opinion, that made it a better movie.
Yes.
Because you didn't have all of the jokes falling flat. Because if it did, if it wasn't funny to you, it didn't stand out as a failed joke.
Right.
This movie, all over the place. Failed joke. Failed joke. Failed joke.
Yep.
They said this line of dialogue, and you're supposed to find it funny. They wanted you to find it funny, and I did not find it funny.
There was only like one or two things I found funny.
A vast majority of the movie, to me, I didn't find funny at all because it reeked of the standard modern-day comedies. It just, to me, it felt like the same old shtick. I mean...
Karan Soni. I don't actually know how to pronounce it. He's got an Indian name. So. Deadpool and Ghostbusters.
Okay, so
same guy.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, he also played a character in Betas, which is an amazing Amazon Prime show.
I've never seen Beta.
What was the name of the girl that had the yellow glasses? Who was building all the
Jillian Holtzman is the character's name. Kate McKinnon is the actress.
No, I like the character of Holtzman.
Yeah, she was a fun character.
I feel like she was a little underplayed, though.
Yeah, I thought she had a lot of great potential that was squandered in a lot of...
She did not get enough screen time, in my opinion.
I was not a fan of a lot of her scenes that she did get. I liked the scene. I didn't want it in the movie. When she's showing off the new stuff, I'm like, okay, I liked her in the scene. I liked the scene, but God, the movie was already dragging. Okay.
Yeah.
50 minutes into the movie is when they go to the rock concert. When they're dubbed the Ghostbusters on the news for the first time. It's 50 minutes into the movie. You know where the original Ghostbusters was 50 minutes in?
Where?
Venkman was going up to Sigourney Weaver's apartment after she had been possessed by the gatekeeper.
Oh, yes, the wonderful...
their little conversation, where she sleeps 4 feet above her covers. But yeah, that is the scene that they were at. They had already, by this point in time, been to the library.
Right.
They had been to the hotel. They had been through the freaking montage of them, busting a bunch of ghosts. They had hired,
the secretary.
God, what is the guy's name?
Huh?
No, in the original.
Oh,
Ernie Hudson's character. Zeddemore. Winston Zeddemore. The original Ghostbusters I might refer to as character names. Their names are worth remembering.
Yeah, I can never remember their names.
Egon Spengler, Ray Stantz, Peter Venkman, and Winston Zeddemore.
Venkman and Spengler, those are the only two names I ever remember, though.
But yes, they had hired Zeddemore by this point in time. They were like already well on, like they were about to be arrested. Like 10 minutes later, they're getting fucking arrested, and their containment unit shut down and blowing up.
I'm trying to.
In the new one, they are just now finally getting to go get their first ghost. And then they take a break from the middle of fighting the ghost and trying to get the ghost so that they can do a whole scene where the black woman tries doing a crowd surf and everybody just moves and lets her fall on the floor.
That scene angered me.
If they had stopped there, that would have been funny. Then they had to do the 60 seconds of her standing up and ranting about it, and that part wasn't funny. They had to call out the joke, and now it stopped being funny. Here, I got an idea, RJ. Do you like Family Guy, especially the newer Family Guy?
I haven't watched it in a while.
Because I dislike it, because Family Guy's big thing is always they play a joke for too long. A friend of mine told me that they do it because if you do a joke and people laugh, and then keep doing it and people stop laughing. But if you keep doing it some more, it comes back around. It never comes back around for me.
That one you're talking about though with Patty or whatever her name is, the name of the character. Those are the only characters I remember actually from the game. I remember from the movie. I actually kind of like that moment. That's probably one of the very few moments I actually laughed. Especially when she's like, now, y'all, I don't know if this was a race thing or a girl thing. You got some explaining to her or whatever. You know what part they forgot to call out? She is like 8 feet tall. I mean, she's a freaking giant woman, especially compared to the rest of the cast members. She just towers over those people. I know, but they didn't call out, a weight thing, possibly. Yeah, but I genuinely laughed at that part. I'm not saying this movie is good. It's not as bad as it could have been. That's the thing. I'm desperately trying to give this movie some of a defense because I'm not going to admit that it's a perfect movie or anything, but it still had a few funny moments. I mean, yes, the humor fell flat in this for the most part, but there were a few moments here and there that, to me, at the very least, made it worth watching. Yeah, I don't know if there was a single joke that I thought was funny. My favorite part is when it actually gets up and the ghost on top of her shoulder. She's like, I'm just gonna go now. That made me laugh. Yeah, I don't know if there was a single joke. I did laugh at things in this movie, but I don't think they were supposed to be jokes. Because once again, any time that it was supposed to be a joke, they made sure you knew it was supposed to be a joke. Yeah. Or at least I felt like they knew or made sure you knew it was supposed to be a joke. And it just wasn't ever funny. Well, that there right there could have been. In which case, they poorly paced every single one of their jokes. I did find some parts genuinely funny, but they never felt like they were supposed to be jokes. There were a few instances where you just had the 4 women in the Chinese restaurant just talking about things. Not any of the times they were sitting around and deliberately making jokes. They were just talking about things, and somebody would say something, and it would make me laugh. It had a hint of irony to it, or, there was some juxtaposition there, or, and don't get me wrong, that was probably deliberate on the screenwriter's part, but wasn't necessarily supposed to be a joke. It was just supposed to be clever and witty, and it made me laugh. See, there's a difference between clever dialogue, witty dialogue, and jokes. Yes. The original Ghostbusters was clever and witty. It did not have a lot of jokes. Right. This movie was wall-to-wall jokes. Very little clever and witty dialogue. The jokes all fell flat. I enjoyed the clever and witty dialogue. And the movie just went on too long. I mean, like I said, 50 minutes in, and they're just now getting started. Well, they started getting towards the part where where the guy kills himself on his equipment or whatever. I was actually looking at my watch trying to figure out what time it was because it was because I was thinking, oh shit, I gotta get to work soon. And it wasn't even anywhere near when I had to leave for work. Yeah. But no, I mean,
I've seen long movies, but the whole beginning of this, especially after a half hour in, and everything that happened in the first half hour is now pointless. Like, useless. I mean, they covered in a half hour what the original Ghostbusters movie covered in, like, the first 10 minutes. Okay, they're college professors. Here's a 60-second scene of them being college professors. Not particularly good ones, either. Here, a library scene. Ghosts. Here, they're being thrown out of college. Here, they're moving in and starting a business. Bam! 10 minutes of the movie. We got all that out of the way. This, it took 30 to 45 minutes to get through that. And it was like, oh my god.
I think it's that right there. I think what it was is they, for some reason, the writers decided that they spent a appropriate amount of time on world building.
Except all the world building then was pointless.
Yeah.
The character development was pointless.
I know.
Getting to know Kristen Wiig's character as the scientist lady who has moved past believing in ghosts, and after the first half hour, that was pointless. She believed in ghosts again. Why the fuck was that there?
It's. I wish they'd gone any other. Correction. I wish they had just realized from the beginning that this script wasn't working at all and had gone back and tried to work everything, because this movie sucks.
But can we also agree here that for phenomenal actors that were given that if they had a better script to work with, they would have made a much better movie.
Well,
That's my opinion.
I can agree to that in principle, dependent upon because part of the problem is, like I said, I enjoyed the witty dialogue. I disliked all of the jokes.
Right.
The thing is, a lot of this was ad-lib. We have a lot of deep, really good improvisational actresses, which means a lot of these jokes were probably things they made up on the fly that weren't ever in the script, and they still fell flat. Now, to be fair, a lot of that may have also been something that could have been fixed in editing. We may have had the director doing a poor job of editing. He definitely should have fucking hacked out a lot of the beginning. And he certainly could have hacked out a lot of the really just bad jokes and streamlined the movie. And let's face it, not every comedian, especially, or even improvisational comedians who are really good, lands a joke every time. The movie had the opportunity to edit out the ones that didn't work, and for some reason they left them all. Yeah, I don't know where the line between the script and the. Don't get me wrong, the script, I'm sure, is the called for that whole opening, which could have just been excised by the director. Editing, we're going to leave it over here on the floor. And the script is clearly the place where they got the idea for the bad guy being just a regular guy who randomly decides he's going to. Anybody know how his plan actually worked? He used a device to break down the barrier, which allowed ghosts to cross over from the other side. That part I got.
Yeah.
How did he become head super-powered ghost, though?
He
broke the barrier and charged the
Why does that make him head superpowered
I don't
ghost?
know, but I think that's what they were trying to imply. But...
Why does he get powers that no other ghosts do? See, in the original Ghostbusters, the bad guy was like a Sumerian god.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, superpowers. Kind of comes with the name. This was janitor at hotel and not very good at that, who somehow gets superpowers when he commits suicide and becomes a fucking goat. I mean, what was the scene where he's taken over the Chris Hemsworth's body, and he's what are the rules on possession? Anybody know? Because
no clue, man.
Because at some points in time, it sounds like they don't have access to these people's memories, and yet he possesses Chris Hemsworth, jumps on the motorcycle, and goes, oh, look, it's a good thing he knows how to ride a motorcycle. Clearly, taking Chris Hemsworth's memories of how to ride a motorcycle so that he can ride a motorcycle, clearly implied before he died the character didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
But he successfully does it. But all of a sudden, he also has superpower. He's jumping off of buildings, and then he somehow makes all those cops and military personnel start dancing?
Yeah.
And then he doesn't use that power on the Ghostbusters?
I didn't know why.
What?
Yeah, this movie is very poorly explained in a lot of areas, and it's just, it's aggravating.
And I know you keep saying you like it, RJ, and there's nothing wrong technically with the scene, but I did not like the action scene near the end where the Ghostbusters are going towards Chris Hemsworth, and all those ghosts start attacking them.
I don't like that, actually.
There's nothing technically wrong with the scene. I felt it had no place in this movie.
It was
Up until that point, this movie was not an action movie. This was a comedy. It was not a very good comedy, but it was a comedy. And all of a sudden, we have this giant action scene. And it completely violates all of the rules. The proton packs, as they had in the original Ghostbusters, were nothing more than containment. They basically were a lasso that went around a ghost that pulled the ghost into the trap. And then in that scene, they're like shotguns that are murdering ghosts left and right. What happens to ghosts when you murder them with a proton pack when the barrier's broken? Why would they spent an awful lot of time in this movie telling everybody, making sure everybody knew that they were real scientists and their job was to catch and study a ghost. The Ghostbusters in the original film at least said, yeah, we're just trying to make money. If we happen to study ghosts while we're doing it, awesome, but yeah, we want to make money.
Yeah, and
these people, I don't know how they afforded all of this, because
yeah, which reminds me of rules that are never really explained. That end where that one chick gets sucked into the green portal and they try to nuke it and stuff. How did she get pulled out through a rope? And
I don't know, ropes clearly connect through portals, man. Pay attention.
Well, no, because then the building rebuilds under it, and then we're...
Yeah, I know. Why? I have no idea why the buildings all rebuilt themselves.
You could argue that the tether being there created some sort of physical link to the other side that then, benefits and blah, 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 but, that's stuff that's never clear established.
Yeah.
Again,
Why did the buildings rebuild themselves? Anybody know? Is it so that, we could show massive destruction, but not actually bother with the consequences of massive destruction?
Remember, they said that when they detonated, it would create a total platonic person.
You know what they said in the original Ghostbusters movie? When you cross the streams, you'd create a total photonic reversal. You know what that didn't do? Unblow up the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. In fact, that's what blew up the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Crossing the streams, closing the gate, caused the explosion on the rooftop that blew up the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
It's been a while since I've seen that.
Which then covered a bunch of people on the street in stuff. When they walk out of the building, like the destruction on the roof was still there. When they walk out of the building, the roads are still fucked up out front. The destruction stayed put, even though they did total photonic reversal. Because A, that's gibberish. And B, nothing in that suggests that it's going to rebuild everything.
Why was their hair randomly blonde when they came out?
I think there was supposed to be some sort of joke. I think it was supposed to be, white.
I think it was supposed to be, an aging joke, but they didn't commit to it fully.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be an aging joke. Like, somehow being in the portal super aged them or something. Although, their hair is the only thing that changed. I suppose it might have also been they got super scared and their hair turned white thing. I don't know.
I didn't like that a little bit. Like, what year is it? It's 2040. We have a plan for president. That made me laugh.
You're right. I think I did laugh at that one.
I had a little amused.
I found something that made you laugh.
At that point in time, I may have just been drinking heavily and laughing at fuzzballs on my carpeting too. I don't.
Ran through that scotch.
No, God. No, there were some fun moments. Like I said, that action scene, if it had been in any other movie, it was well executed. One thing I am going to complain about, though, I actually found the ghosts in the 1984 film to look better.
Yes. I think that's because they went full CGI with this one.
Well, yeah, the ghosts in this were completely computer generated.
I did not like the blind version of this one. Oh my god.
Yeah, the ghosts were completely computer generated. And I don't know, all the ghosts felt completely detached. They felt, literally, in 1984, they painted all of the ghosts on a piece of glass and filmed the film with the piece of glass with the ghost over it to add them to the scene. And they looked more in the scene than the computer ghosts in this movie. They all felt so... Yeah, I don't know. And, they also did a lot more practical effect for, like, the skeleton ghosts and, stuff like that. I was actually really... I heard there were a bunch of cameos in this, but I was surprised they managed to get Murray.
Yeah.
Because Bill Murray was basically the thing that kept Ghostbusters 3 from being a thing with the original cast.
Yeah.
So many interviews after it was announced that, no, we're not using that script, Bill Murray would go, yeah, I never read it. I don't know if it's good or not. Somebody would be like, we heard that this version of the script is being thrown out and a new one's being rewritten. How do you feel about that? And Bill Murray would go, I don't know, I never read the damn thing, so I don't have an opinion one way or another. To be fair, even though he was, the studio made him the star. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in the original Ghostbusters, Winston Zeddemore was supposed to be played by, he didn't do this because he did Beverly Hills Cop instead. Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was supposed to be Winston Zeddemore in this movie, in the original Ghostbusters. He backed out or didn't sign up or whatever so he could go do Beverly Hills Cop, which turned out to be a good idea because even though Ghostbusters turned out really well, Beverly Hills Cop still made more money and was a higher profile movie.
I'd argue that Beverly Hills Cop was a better movie.
So, but anyway, so they brought in, I cannot remember this guy's name again. I said it earlier and I can't remember. But they brought in the guy who ended up playing Winston. And, apparently the day before shooting, or maybe not the day before, but, just before shooting, not terribly wrong before shooting, Ivan Reitman, the director, walked in, handed him a new script, and said, here, your part has been reduced because the studio wants to see more Venkman in the script. They put in more Venkman. But Bill Murray was kind of ambivalent about the whole thing to begin with. He was actually a replacement for yet another actor who was supposed to be in the movie who backed out of it and didn't do it.
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson, thank you. I love Ernie Hudson. He's been in a lot of other films that I really enjoy. You guys ever seen Airhead?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think so.
Well, we'll talk about it later. It's a terrible film, but I love it. It's one of them stupid films I love. But anyway, so yeah, they completely reworked the script. But Bill Murray was kind of ambivalent about the whole thing to begin with. They managed to talk him to come back for Ghostbusters 2, but then when Ghostbusters 2 wasn't all that hot, yeah, he just kind of didn't care. He moved on. He did other things. This was never a passion project for him. It was a passion project for, crap, I'm forgetting everybody's name. The guy who played Ray and the guy who played Egon. Because they're the guys who wrote the script. The original script concept was the guy who plays Ray. God, I should know these people's names.
You just said it too, and I should know this.
Yeah, and then it was worked on and punched up, and some of the dialogue and stuff was done by both the guy who plays Egon and Ivan Reitman, the director. Apparently, the three of them spent 3 weeks in a far-off location, just buried in writing the script to get it up to snuff. Because apparently some of the original ideas were way out there. Like, the original script was supposed to cost like $150 million
What?
in 1954.
Holy.
Or 1984, excuse me. Well, not 54.
That's a lot.
Yeah. The studio was like, no. Like the concept, you're going to lose all of this. Because it was supposed to be set in, like, the far future, where ghosts and ghost busting was not a new prospect. So there was going to be, like, flying cars and all this other stuff. And they estimated it at $150 million and said, no, we need a different script.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, that script, I think part of the problem most likely has to do with how successful Ghostbusters, the franchise, is and how big it is. Because the original script and everything, the studio kept going, this needs to be tighter, this needs to be better, this needs to be, funnier. I'm guessing with this script, the studio was like, hey, it's Ghostbusters. Make a good Ghostbusters movie. We're going to be hands off. Especially with a lot of backlash nowadays of, studios ruining movies and what have you. With things like Deadpool, Deadpool the story is Deadpool succeeded in spite of the studio doing their best to ruin it. They didn't want something like that with Ghostbusters, the new one. So, you let the director and everybody do what they wanted. The original Ghostbusters, the studio kept going, nope, we're not paying for that. Nope, that's not happening. Nope, this is being changed. And in a lot of ways, the movie's better for it. Not to deny the success of the actors and what they brought to it and what the script brought to it. And just like this new Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, a lot of the dialogue is ad-libbed. Yeah, I feel like in the new one, they spent a lot of time. I mean, if these are the jokes that made it into it, and it was as improv as I've read it has been, what did they cut out? What were the jokes that they fucking didn't put in?
Yeah, it's...
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, bottom line, from me, the original Ghostbusters is epic. Ghostbusters 2, not as good. Ghostbusters the video game, not as good as 2.
What you're talking about
No,
there?
I'm talking about the one that is ostensibly the third movie,
Oh, I'm
basically.
talking about the recent one.
From like 2008, 2009, something like that.
Okay.
Where they had all the original cast back in. It was written by the guy who plays Ray, whose name I can't remember again.
Dan Aykroyd.
It's Dan Aykroyd. It was written by Dan Aykroyd and the other guys. I think Ivan Reitman was involved somehow, even though on the script anyway. Even though he's a movie director, he's not a video game guy. Yeah, do not. There are some good parts that, taken on their own, are good. There are some good ideas, but the movie as a whole does not gel. Most of the jokes fall flat, and I just do not recommend this to anyone.
My bottom line on Ghostbusters 2016, as I'm calling it from now on, it's a bad movie. It tries to be the modern day standard comedies that are really bad. And I wouldn't suggest it to anyone unless you just really hate yourself. Like, hate yourself enough to sit through this movie. Don't watch it. I do not suggest it all.
RJ, what do you got to say?
As much as I wanted to finish the movie because I enjoyed it myself, it's really not that great of a movie. Watch it. My opinion is watch it and make your own decision. I think it's good for a rental. I can recommend it as a rental if you want something quick and simple to watch on the weekends. Okay, you don't have to.
All right. That being said, Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCartney. Yeah, McCartney. Pretty sure that's the correct pronunciation. McCarthy. And this is the first time I've seen the other two Ghostbusters, the actresses who play them. I can tell from how much the good parts of this movie, all four of those women are going to be phenomenal in all sorts of other roles. Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig have been in other roles, other movies I've seen, and I've seen them do good work. Continue to support these women. Hopefully they will do a project in the future that is good, that is worth seeing. Support these women. Do not let the fact that this movie sucks become a testament that women cannot headline movies or some stupid bullshit like that. Women can headline movies just fine. These 4 women can headline movies just fine. Just not this movie.
Yes.
So, next week, we are going to do Axiom Verge. I don't even remember what that game is about.
It's
I just know I heard it was good.
Yeah.
In addition to Axiom Verge, one of these days, we are going to watch a movie that I don't hate.
More than likely Halloween.
I don't know when that is going to be, but it's not next week. Next week, we are doing Alice Through the Looking Glass, the sequel to the sort of okay Tim Burton, Johnny Depp collaboration on Alice in Wonderland. And in addition to that, we are going to watch Independence Day Resurgence, which... So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting week. Wesley's gonna have some more music. Possibly more rap again, who the fuck knows?
Next week's actually going to be more of a depressing week, so I will actually be sending you 3 songs that I'll be talking about.
Oh, we're gonna get a preview, so we're gonna know what you're talking about beforehand. That's new.
God help me now.
RJ will be back with more weird news stories, one of which is going to involve dropping things from things over a state. I've already forgotten.
Ton of Arkansas apparently dropped a live turkey from a plane.
Ah, yes, dropping turkeys out of planes. I don't know what that means, but
Live turkey.
I'm looking forward to hearing about it and going, what the fuck? So that's it for us today. As always, you can check us out live right here on Twitch. We are the Esoteric Podcast on Twitch. You can check out our edited versions, shorter, easier to digest over on YouTube. We are the Esoteric Podcast over on YouTube. We are on Twitter. We are at the Esoteric Pod. We mostly just mention when we're going to be doing things and when our videos go up at the moment. We will actually be participating on Twitter. One of these days, maybe this coming week, I'm going to start a blog as part of the Esoteric Podcast. That will probably be going up on Thursdays when I get around to it. I have a lot of shit going on right now, just not a lot of time for that sort of thing. One of these days, hopefully this coming week. I promise. Maybe.
It's the podcast meme, ma'am. Do it for the meme.
Yes, do it for the meme. And of course, if you really, really like what we're doing and you want to support us, you want us to have the funds to get better equipment and then to get ourselves some more time so we're not working 4 or 5 jobs to pay our bills. That's each, not total. But yeah, support us over on Patreon. We are at the Esoteric Podcast over on Patreon. You can, of course, find links to all of those things below this video. If you're on Twitch, it's below the video. If you're on YouTube, it's below the video. Internet works wonderful that way. So look for our links below the video. And Wesley, tell us about our music artist.
The producer of our outro and intro is a producer by the name of Music Music. He's an awesome artist. I've worked with him in the past. There will be a link to his channel in the YouTube description. Anyways, thank you for watching this week. We will see you next time. Goodbye.